Hey guys, I said it wouldn't take so long to upload another video this time, and I'm back. I'm actually back home for a couple of weeks. This is home for me. Let me just show you out there. As you can see, something of a country boy. I was born and I grew up out here on a farm. I mean, this part's a crop farm, but the vast majority of it is a pig farm, and this is where I spent most of my years growing up. So I suppose it's a bit strange that I am where I am now, and this isn't really the kind of place that a future Japanese studies student would normally grow up. Certainly took my parents by surprise when I said that I wanted to go and study Japanese, and eventually end up spending a year out there, and you know, God knows what I'll end up doing in the future. But that's really what I wanted to turn the camera on to talk about today. I said plenty of times before in the past, what I really wanted to do when I made this channel way back when was I wanted to sort of document what life was like as a university student actually studying Japanese. Sorry, I sit down on the bench here, just out here, but it's too bright. It's about 8:15, 8:30 in the evening, and the sun's just going down, and it's a gorgeous evening, but it's blindingly bright, so I'm just going to keep walking. Yeah, like I was saying, I wanted to make this channel about studying Japanese at university, and those sort of things, because there's a lot of channels out there on YouTube about studying Japanese, about being in Japan, but not too many about the actual experience of studying Japanese at university. And yeah, I thought what I'd talk about in this video is, you know, why should you, if you're thinking about studying Japanese, why take it as a university course? You know, there's plenty of channels out there on YouTube that will try and help you learn Japanese. There are textbooks you can buy, and Japanese, more than just about any other language, has benefited the most from the advent of the internet and free resources online. You know, you can get countless Japanese dictionaries. There's things like Tai Kim's Grammar Guide, which is fantastic. There's I know Tofugu, I'm sure plenty of people are aware of, does their own online textbooks and things like that people have put together, and you really can, if you want to study Japanese. There's so much free online resources these days, or offline resources that you can get hold of. But you know, I went and did a 4-year university course. I've just this morning found out that I am a graduate. I have an upper second class honours degree in Japanese studies. I graduate next weekend. Next weekend? Yeah, next weekend, Saturday the 22nd, and I've made it, so I am officially qualified to talk about the experience of studying Japanese at university. But why university itself? And I think there's several good reasons to go to university. I mean, myself, I'm fascinated by the idea of education and where education is going to go in the next few years as online education gains more traction. And I do think that as time goes by, we will see less and less people going to university and less brick and mortar universities, and the focus changing. But at the moment, I still think there are good reasons to go to a traditional university and study Japanese as a degree. You know, what I really think of university as is a fantastic way of organising and structuring your studies and just being that motivation for you. I'm going to stop for a little bit because I've kind of reached the end of my path. But yeah, but of really just of being that motivation for you, of making sure that you work hard, that you spend enough time each day doing it. You know, with the best will in the world, if you're just trying to study Japanese on the side whilst working or something along those lines, you know, life can get in the way, and it can be too easy to just drop language learning to the side. And as much as that's not really an excuse, it just does happen, you know. I've been trying my best to try and teach myself Spanish over the last few months, and it was going alright, and then I sort of hit a few days where I couldn't do it for various reasons. I had to go here and there and seeing people, and just sort of fell out the habit, and just it is easy to sort of fall away when you don't have deadlines and you don't have essays and exams and questions being set for you. Whatever you think the actual merits of that sort of system might be, it does force you to keep on top of things. I think that's one of the great reasons to study a language at university, or anything at university really. And of course, I think the great reason is, for certainly with my course, and I think with most courses in most countries, a language degree usually comes with the with a mandatory year abroad in whichever country you're the country of whichever language you're studying, Japanese or otherwise. And of course, I made videos on my channel before about this whilst I was out there. You know, I spent a year, 10 months in Matsuyama in Ehime Prefecture in Japan, and of course, when you're learning a language, there really is no better way than to actually be in that country, in that culture, and just using it and hearing it every day. You know, you can do your best at home, and these days it's getting better. You can get online speaking partners, or you can go out and, you know, you can meet people, you can do whatever, but it's just going to be a lot easier and a lot faster if you're actually in that culture, if you're immersed. And although, of course, you know, here in the UK, you have to pay, you have fees, you have to get a loan, you know, the student loans to take a university course, because you don't have to pay back straight away, and you only ever have to pay back when you have the means to pay back. You know, it's a great way to get abroad and to really really get a hold of a language, and be able to spend a year in that country without having to find a job there, without having to, you know, save up for a long time. And I think that really is one of the biggest advantages to doing Japanese or any language really at university. And certainly I mean, there are other advantages that come with it as well. I went to Oxford Brookes University in the UK, and they have a very sizable contingent of Japanese exchange students, so that was another advantage that came with going to my university. You just met Japanese students just in your daily going about the campus, and there was a large Japanese society that would hold sort of Japanese language exchange events and things like that. So just from being around the campus, and even when you're back in the UK, there was still plenty of opportunities to speak Japanese, to practice your Japanese, to get to know Japanese people. So, you know, I think those are some of the best reasons, and of course, it just looks good on a CV. You might go and spend several years learning Japanese sort of under your own power, you know, through just sheer force of will, and master Japanese and do a fantastic job of it. And if you can do that, I wholeheartedly encourage you to take that option, because you'll save yourself, you know, however many thousands of pounds or dollars or whatever in student fees. But if you're at university and you've done a 4-year degree, it looks excellent on the CV. You know, it's a lot easier, and as much as just a title on a piece of paper really is no good indication of what level of language ability you have, it looks good. You know, it can't be helped that is the world that we live in, and when employers are looking at your CV, they're going to look at BA, honours, or whatever the title might be for your respective degree in Japanese studies, and just go, okay, right, then they obviously must, if they've made it to the end of that course, they must have a certain level of Japanese fluency. And even though it might not be as high as somebody who has worked incredibly hard on their own, or just lived in the country for several years, you know, working or whatever, people like that may have a higher proficiency than plenty of people who have gone through a 4-year degree. It's hard to prove that on a personal statement or an application form or a CV. So just to have that title there just really sort of sets you apart straight away and catches the eye of an employer. Right, well, I've already reached 10 minutes. I kind of rambled on. I'm sure there's plenty of other points that I've forgotten, but you know, as and when they hit me, I'll make other videos for that. But yeah, that's just the main reasons that really spring to mind, that I think are the most important when deciding, you know, if you're thinking about doing Japanese studies at university. I think those are some good reasons to think about. And I'll probably make a partner video to this in the next few days about, you know, some of the bigger reasons not to go to university, because there certainly are reasons not to. You know, I'm 4 years down, and I look back on it, and there are plenty of positives, but there are negatives. There are some times when I do think, oh, maybe I should have explored other options. But yeah, that'll be another video. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that was of some help to you. Those of you who end up watching this who are thinking about doing a Japanese degree, just something to think about. So take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.